How you doing, gamers? Today we're back to another videos about some interesting HE switches. Recently, the HE keyboard market has been moving really fast, and we have also received quite a few HE switches that really worth to talk about. What's really interesting is that these switches are no longer only about performance, but they are starting to sound better and look much better now. So today's video, I want to look at a few HE switches and compare them from a few angles and I think really matter. Hello, this is Chester from Keytok and the Toronto Keyboard Man. First, we have the TTC Flip KOM switches. TTC is already a very famous name in the switch industry, and they have always been known for the stability and the performance. Most of TTC HE switches in the past were more on the clocky side, but this time, the Flip KOM feels like a move tower that's socky side. So for this switch, you are not only getting the stronger performance and solid feel, but also the sound profile that's a lot more enjoyable for people who like the deeper sound. The next one, we have the Keytok Nova switch. Well, the Keytok usually focus on the keycaps more, so I honestly did not expect them to enter the HE switch market so fast. But they did not just make the basic switches. They actually developed a new mod for this project, and their unique light diffusion design makes the switches stand out right away. The next few switches come from one of the hottest names in the HE sense, which is the WS Studio, or we're gonna call this Wooting Studio. If you started getting into the HE keyboards recently, then you have probably already heard about the Pink Lotus or the Flex HE switches. So far, the Pink Lotus is still one of the creamiest HE switches that I have tried, and on top of that, the soft pink transparent housing also looks very beautiful. Well, the WS Studio did not stop at the Pink Lotus. They also released two new diamond seamed switches, Cullinan and Heart of Ocean. Both have a very strong virtual identity, and I have to say WS Studio really knows how to make the switches look better. And finally, we also added one more switch that's very different from the rest, which is Off Studio's Silent HE switch. This one is especially interesting because it goes very different direction. Most of HE switches are still trying to compete through the sound, RGB, but this one is trying to offer something much quieter. So for people who want the speed and performance of the HE keyboards, but do not want your wife to kick you out from the room, this could be the best option. So let's talk about the stability and the performance first. For this test, I'm going to use the Wooting PCB because I think a lot of people already have one. After trying all 6 switches, I would like to say that when I pressed all the way down, the keycaps wobble is minimal on all of them. I also did not run into any disconnected or missed the input issues on the PCB side. I still set the Wooting trigger settings to the very extreme level, just to stress test them a bit more. Even then, all of these switches feel very stable. So I think the 6 switches are solid and you can use any of them with the confidence. And next we have the RGB test. For gaming keyboard, RGB is definitely still one of the judging factors. Good light diffusion can make your keyboard look better, and nowadays some HE keyboards can even react to what is happening in your game, or light up your whole desk setup and make everything looks more gamer. If we are talking about the pure RGB performance, then the first tier is definitely the WS Cullinan and the Keytok Nova switch. The reason is simple. These switches are full clear that nothing blocks the RGB lights. And the second tier would be the Heart of the Ocean and the Pink Lotus, just because their stems are not full transparent. For TTC Flip and Off Studio Silent switches, they also have really good shine through, but compared to other 4 switches, these are just normal. So if you want crazy RGB and you're planning to use full transparent keycaps, Cullinan and the Keytok Nova would be your best option. But if you are going to use the regular keycaps, the difference between them is actually not that big. But I think people are probably gonna say, who cares if the switches looks good? It is just going to hide under the keycaps anyway. But that is where the keyboard building experience comes in. A beautiful switch can actually make the building process way more enjoyable. Also gives you a good enough RGB shine through, and to be honest, who does not like the beautiful things, right? when we talk about typing feel, we actually use the keyboards every day. Feel matters a lot. There's no such thing as the best switch. There's only one switch that fits for your best. For me personally, two of the most important things are the bottom out force and the return speed. If a switch is too light, it gives me the feeling that I can miss triggering too easy, and if that's too heavy, my fingers start getting tired very quickly. Pressing the key again can feel like hitting against a plastic wall. That makes the both the typing and gaming feel kind of weak. Personally, I usually use the switches around 45 to 48 grams. After typing these 6 switches, I would say if you like the slightly heavier switches that feels more controlled and more solid, then the 3 switches from the WS Studio will probably suit you very well. And if you like me and you're more comfortable around 45 grams, then the TTC Flip KOM and the Keytok Nova are both very good choice. And of course, if you are a silent switch fan, then the Off Studio Silent HE switches is easily your best option. And now we finally get the typing sound test. For this test, I'm using the same case, same keycaps, Wooting 60 PCB with the aluminum plate and foams. And hopefully one of these 6 switches will end up being the right one for you. Overall, I think all 6 switches are impressive. Each one has their own characters and they're trying to offer something a little bit different. But I still have to say, a more expensive switches does not mean it's better for you. And cheaper switches does not mean it's bad. The best switch is always the one fit for you the most, so the best that I can do here is give you the general direction. If you love RGB and you prefer the slightly heavier and solid feel, the WS Studio switches are a very good choice. If you're not the heavy typer and also looking for the sulky sound and good RGB shine through, Keytok Nova is probably the best to pick. If you only care about the stabilities and the performance, then the TTC is the choice that you will never go wrong with it. And if you want your keyboard to stay quiet enough and do not bother anyone, including yourself, of course, then the Off Studio Silent HE switches is easily the perfect choice. So that's all for today. Let me know in the comments which one of these switches is your favorite, or if there are any other switches you want me to try next, just let me know the name. I will get one and let you know what I think. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.